You like me. You really like me. What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals Oscar nominations came out today, so Kyle and I wanted to talk about them. Thank me on my patrons, Karen. Get some merch, all the good stuff. Help us get to 2,000, and we'll talk about it. This is probably going to be our. We probably want to do a podcast next week on Monday or Tuesday. We'll probably because I'll be out of town this weekend, and busy schedules making it hard. So we might call this the next episode, but might not be as long. But we're here to chat Oscars. Kyle, why do you have a mini Academy Award there? And why haven't you given me one? You are my Oscars.
Oh, shucks, Al. And you're mine as well. This was a office gift. One of my first years working where I work, but I don't remember who gave it to me or what the reason was. But yeah, I just remember that I was in the office, and so I grabbed it before coming here to record.
Nice. I don't have one, so I went with my winking Squirtle.
Which is better in every sense of the word. Because literally the Oscars mean nothing. As I've been preaching.
No, they mean something.
Well, you know, when we see
it is celebrities.
A certain movie.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I mean, there is, you see celebrities patting themselves on the back. That is annoying. But like,
sure.
If you came to work one day and was told you've been the best all year, here's a little special reward, you'd be a little excited. So
I'd be flattered.
And for people,
and then grind.
For people in the industry, you got to think sometimes too, some actors who kind of pop and all of a sudden now they're in Hollywood, and it's like I kind of got lucky on an audition and now I've got a career. So, but I got to pull up the list. I don't even have the dang list pulled up. Oscar nominated. Do you have the list pulled up?
I actually printed out the nominees because I wrote notes. I wrote notes this time.
Big print guy.
Print's not dead yet, right? There's a printer at work that we don't use.
Kyle, Print's dead. God, that is a bright screen. All right, well, I got it pulled up here. I'm just gonna work I don't know why the Academy's website always puts it in the weirdest order. Like best
That's
actor
what I thought
is the
too.
First thing up there, but then like best picture is way down in the middle. It makes no sense because I wanted to go in like kind of descending order of like the things we don't feel we need to talk about as much. Let's start with like the documentaries I haven't seen. I've heard a little bit about some. I don't think the documentary shorts are something we desperately need to talk about here.
Don't think so.
But unless if you got something, go for it. Like same with the live action shorts. Like I've heard some things, but we talked about them on our prediction show somewhat. So if you got anything, speak now.
Nope. This year didn't really pay too much attention to those two categories, so there's probably plenty of other channels that have better analysis on that. So, but not here. Sorry. But still watch this video.
All right. Well, let's I don't know. Where should we start? You know what? Let's start where
just start at the top. It's fine.
All right. We'll just go down.
Let's not make this hard.
You got the same list, huh? You got the same list?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start with actor in a leading role. Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. This is pretty much what Kyle and I've been saying. If you've been on Movie Meals, you're ahead of the game.
And we didn't do these videos throughout the year. We only do the one prediction, and then we just get right into it. And that's the Movie Meal way. And it's I think it worked pretty well so far this year, just by this one category alone.
Yeah. Well, I think the big surprise here is Sebastian Stan, right? That's got to be the surprise for The Apprentice.
Yeah.
And Kyle and I haven't seen The Apprentice. I always try to watch what gets nominated, so it's going to be more of a priority over this next month to kind of check out. But there was rumors about maybe Daniel Craig for Queer. Tim
That's what I assumed the fifth
Timothée
spot would be.
Chalamet Ding Dong should have been there for Dune. All right.
We'll talk about Dune.
Oh, we'll talk about Dune. What are
R.I.P.
your thoughts
Uh,
in this category?
Brody, Chalamet, Domingo, and Fiennes were easy locks for me. I really did think the fifth one was going
Yeah.
to be Daniel Craig, just for the legacy aspects, for his first time nominating him in the Academy. But Sebastian Stan, to my surprise, made an appearance for that fifth spot, and I honestly thought A Different Man would have been the one to do it over The Apprentice, just because it felt like Different Man would have been seen more compared to The Apprentice, but clearly by maybe how things have played out over the past few months, that's a different story than I ever realized. So I can't speak on that performance personally. I don't really know if I have a desire to see the movie. I'm sure the movie is good, but I just, with everything going on, it's just not on my radar. I just see enough of Donald Trump as it is, and I just personally don't need to watch a movie about it, but to each their own. So I hope to see Sing Sing and The Brutalist, because I want to see more of those performances since I've only seen Chalamet and Fiennes'.
Yeah, I think that there might be some Hollywood, because Hollywood tends to be pretty left leaning. A lot of the big superstars, and it could just be like it's stuck in people's minds type of thing, and so they went with that performance just so they could kind of stick it to him or something. I don't know, but I do.
I guess I just don't know what The Apprentice, how it leans towards. I don't know if it shows him in like.
It's all about his start. I
all
believe
about
it's
his
all
start.
about his his first couple businesses and things like that.
Yeah, so I guess it
money
just
from
could
his
be strictly a biopic based off of that, or if it shows like the more possible human sides of his upbringing. I don't know. Like I don't know how the movie just played itself out. So I guess that'd be like the one question I would have in wanting to watch the movie. But I've heard the performance is very good though.
I mean,
so
yeah,
I
two
guess
acting nominations. I mean, because we'll get to Jeremy Strong. So, yeah, I mean that is next. Let's just move on to that.
Sure.
Actor in a supporting role, our boy Yura, if I'm saying your name right, Borzev for Honora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. I mean, I thought these first four I said were locks.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Strong I didn't know about. These guys kind of felt like they were the front runner in kind of a weaker Oscar year. Kyle and I have been talking about that. We talked about that earlier today about it being a weaker year and what that usually means. And I feel like it means that there just wasn't a powerhouse, huge movie that people rallied behind. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Oppenheimer.
Maybe
movies like that, because there are some great movies in here. I mean, some movies got some great movies, especially for a year for horror. Like this was a great year. Anyway, I guess side tangent. What do you think about this? Anything I just said?
Yeah, those top four were the locks for me. Jeremy Strong was kind of the similar situation with Sebastian Stan. I just didn't know if a movie that was kind of with a smaller distributor, I wasn't sure how much of like a build there was in terms of getting like the awards nominations, or for the Oscars at least. So I guess that was more so of the surprise. I'm sure for a lot of people who have seen Sing Sing, they're very disappointed by Macklin not getting this nomination. Again, I can't wait to see Sing Sing to see that for myself.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I need to see what Jeremy Strong brought, but
Sure.
I would put him over. I mean, Guy Pearce was great. I mean, I think all these guys were great in their movies, but it's hard not to put him in there. Macklin was incredible. I mean, incredible. I saw a tweet or something that said like, we're not giving him enough credit because he's a non-trained actor who went toe to toe. He goes toe to toe with Coleman Domingo, who is
two-time
Oscar nominee. Yeah, that is insane. That is insane.
And those types of stories, usually you would think that they would want to shine love. They being like Hollywood and the Academy, and you would think like maybe there was something to that, but yeah, I don't know. I guess Sing Sing A24, unlike most of their other movies that they have for Academy recognition, Sing Sing just they missed the mark on like how to get people talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My other thought is just Edward Norton, because that was the most recent movie that I saw, was A Complete Unknown. Very good. A very different performance from most of Norton's stuff that I've
I'd
seen
seen Norton
personally.
in a while, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to mention that one since we already talked about Borisov and Culkin. So he does a really good job in that movie.
He does. All right, let's move on. I guess this is actress in a leading role. Cynthia, I will never say it correctly. How do you say her last name, Kyle?
Arrivo. It's always Arrivo.
Arrivo. For Wicked, Carlos Sofia Gascon. For Emily Perez, Mickey Madsen, my queen. For Honora, Demi Moore, my other queen, for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. And if I recall, she won the Golden Globe in this category. Was that not her for I'm Still Here?
We can double check that, but I know she was nominated for sure in the drama category. Because Demi Moore probably won for comedy.
Yeah. Have you seen The Substance? I'm telling you right now, if you've seen The Substance, Conan needs to walk out and just recreate the ending of the film during the monologue. That'd be incredible.
Sure. I'm for it.
Let's spray some guts. It was her. I'm Still Here. Yeah. This another movie shot up on my list. I want to see what every year there's always one movie that you're like, what? Like, I've been following this. I've been tracking this as best I can. And there's always one movie that just gets you. And this is it this year. So thoughts, Kyle?
I feel proud that I called the Fernanda Torres, or not called it really. I just was taking a long shot for that 5th spot. I want to have a little bit of a break. I actually like that I predicted something for once and felt pretty sure about it. Right now, as I see it, I would just think it's Demi Moore and Mikey Madison's at neck and neck.
Yeah.
And then, we'll talk more about I'm Still Here and Emilia Perez, because those have quite a bit of stuff to talk about. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just get to that probably in this next category here. We'll do an Oscars final prediction video. So we're not going to make calls now. And even if we did, I mean, those are going to change. But like, I think this is, wait, is it Mickey or Mikey? I always mess it Mikey.
I think it's Mikey.
We had this problem last time. I haven't corrected the problem. Mikey. I call her Queen. Mikey,
she would appreciate that.
Demi, I think, is a 2-horse race here, and I hope that's where everybody's leaning. Actress in a supporting role, we got Monica Barbero for A Complete Unknown. Glad she got in here. That makes me happy, because I think she steals the show. Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emily Perez. Now let's get into it here. Kyle and I. Literally, we were starting to talk about Emilia. Sorry, I keep saying Emily. Emilia Perez. We were starting to talk about it. 13 nominations. And Kyle and I started kind of getting into it. And I was like, we got to hit record here. 13.
That's wild.
13.
Yeah. I was guessing 10 in my head. I was saying it was going to get a lot of nominations.
But Kyle, I mean, there's a difference between 10. I mean, 10's a lot. 13. We're talking tying all-time records here. I've still not seen the movie. Kyle, give me a little spiel on it. I'm going to look up the other movies that have been nominated for 13 here.
Look, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of examples where the Academy gets tunnel vision on a movie where they think, where it comes across as if they're trying to uplift it for the right reasons, but they don't realize that it's not a movie that necessarily is shining those reasons in a good light, if that makes sense. I feel like this is a very good example when it comes to Emilia Perez. But at the same time, it's just nominated in so many categories. And let's remember, each of these categories is nominated by the people in the specific field, such as the actors, doing the nominations for their acting categories, or editing is for the editors, and sound is for the sound people. And I just can't imagine that every single one of those categories everyone was on the same page of like, this is incredible. This movie's incredible. Movie just blows me away. So I don't know if they just had tunnel vision when it comes to like this one particular movie in each of their fields, and they just weren't listening to everyone else realizing that it was going to get so many nominations. I don't really see like conversations really coming up like that. So another thing that I'm kind of going to throw out there is,
throw it.
Are their votes being bought? I don't know. I mean,
I brought that up today.
Did you? Well, yeah, but I think it's worth touching on because I don't really want to say it out loud because it's the Oscars. These are a big deal. It's not like the Golden Globes as we've seen before, but for crying out loud, for Emilia Perez to get that high of praise, I just don't see that. I just can't agree. And even some of these categories they'll get into later, I wouldn't have nominated them in those specific fields. No way. And granted, some voters can't watch every movie. Some voters could forget about a movie, and Emilia Perez is just so in the zeitgeist that they just throw it in there. You just never know how seriously everyone takes it and such, because there's just so many. But I don't know. It just raises it. I think it raises an eyebrow. Raises a question about like the legitimacy of it all. I don't know.
It was the lowest.
It's a stink. It's a stink on it for me.
We'll get to Best Picture, but because I do want to talk about this, and I think talking about it at Zoe is the right time to discuss. I do apologize for the brightness changes. I'm having trouble here today, and I don't feel like fixing it. And every time I open a new tab, now I'm blue. But I think. I mean, I still haven't seen it. It shot down my list because Kyle's like, "Al, it's not really that good."
Every time I think about it more, I just dislike it more and more.
And it's got some controversy, it sounds like, around it in terms of how it depicts the people in the film.
Yeah.
But I was saying to this morning when our friends were all talking about this, I was just starting to think about it, and I was like, the only people I've heard give praise to this movie are the people in the movie. I haven't heard anybody say anything other than it's good. I liked it. Mm-hmm. It was okay. Solid. Like that's everything else has been nuts. Not really that good. And everybody's said, but Zoe's a standout. Zoe's very good in a not so good movie. Yeah. But like we're talking, I mean, Carla, great for her, but she's in the best actress category. I have to. It's probably going to be the first next movie I sit and watch. Because I have to know. I have to know. I just 13. Let's look at the other 11 movies that have had 13 nominations before.
Yeah.
We've got Gone with the Wind.
I think they got that right.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Depending on who you ask, it was the wrong Lord of the Rings to pick, but it was kind of a.
They made up for it.
Make up. Yeah. 13. I mean, hey, Lord of the Rings is a triumph in cinema. Forrest Gump, triumph in cinema.
That got 13 nominations. Wow.
Yeah. Mary Poppins, 1964, an absolute elite film. The Shape of Water in 2017.
I forgot it got that many.
Kyle.
Wow.
Is The Shape of Water better than Emilia Perez?
Easily. 13 nominations? I'd have to rewatch.
I saw it coming. I was thinking 10. For Shape of Water. I was always...
Hey, that's a good guess. That's always a good guess.
6 is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That's a bit much.
Didn't La La Land get double digits too? Am I misremembering that?
Maybe
I thought it got 11.
Yeah, maybe. These are the ones I got. IMDb coming with these for 13. Curious Case of Benjamin Button has no business having 13. I give you.
Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look up La La Land.
I'm Here to Eternity, 1953. Never heard of it. Won 8 of those 13. I might have to check that out. Number 8 is Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I freaking love that movie. I watched it for my AFI organization list, which I'm gonna continue one day. Love that. Chicago. 2002, Chicago.
That's right.
13. Shakespeare in Love, famed for being one of the biggest blunders in Oscar history. And Oppenheimer last year. had 13 nominations, and Oppenheimer's an absolute powerhouse. Kyle,
La
is
La
Amelia what?
La La Land apparently had 14 nominations.
I believe it.
14. Why is that not being brought up then? When people talk about, why is that not being brought up then?
What do you mean?
Well, like I've heard like Lord of the Rings like on passing throughout the day, but no one brings up La La Land for those amount of nominations. That's so weird. I don't know. How do people miss that?
Well, I think we're talking
Oscar nominations.
More, yeah, but like I feel like you've hit 14, you're in a whole new category of your own, you know what I mean? According to this document from the Academy,
our bad.
Only Titanic has All About Eve and Titanic were both nominated for 14 Academy Awards.
Weird. Maybe the Google was wrong then. Stupid AI.
No, it might be. It might be this. They might have not updated that list.
Whatever. It got a lot. Point is.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, La La Land did get 14. And I think I remember people being like tied for the most ever. Mm-hmm. Are we for real? And La La Land's great. But anyway, I want to see it. Emilia Perez, but man, I think that is crazy. You're telling me Nosferatu not getting one, but Emilia Perez is sneaking 13 slots here?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Dune's got like 4. Dune.
Yeah, which I'll talk more about Dune later down the road. But Emilia Perez, dude, I don't know. It, like I said, it could be a case of tunnel vision. It could be a case of shady stuff happening behind the scenes, possibly. Or maybe people in the Academy are just naive to, like, when watching the movie, they don't think about the subject matter. They think of it at face value, and they don't do, like, similar to what I did. I saw it at face value, thought it was fine. Later on, learning more about how people felt about the movie and then seeing, like, the issues with it, realized that, oh, this is actually a very messy movie. Maybe fine at most, but, like, not worthy of nominations. And I think they just didn't do proper due diligence with thinking more about the movie. And that could be said for the rest of the movies too, which, again, voters, they have a lot to do throughout the day. They can't get through every single film and know about every single film. I get it. There's a lot to do. But I don't know. You got to do a bit better. I don't know. Like, we're not going to have answers to this. We're never going to have answers to this. But it's just such a bummer that, especially last year when I felt like most of those nominations and wins were pretty darn good, that we're kind of reverting back to this. And it kind of makes it feel like this wasn't a good year for film, even though I wouldn't necessarily agree, but it's just very frustrating.
It is a weak, I think overall a weaker year. I think when you're going to look back and you rank your, like when we get to the end of the decade here and it's 2030, we'll look back and be like 2025 or 2024, whatever, wasn't the most stacked. But, I mean, just under 10,000 Academy voters. That's a lot of buys. That's a lot of but it is Netflix. Is it right? It's a Netflix movie. So they do have a lot of sway. But we've been ranting. Let's get back to this. Animated feature, we'll kind of rattle through some of these quick ones. Animated feature, Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit, hey, 6 Academy nominations over their time, okay? Those boys have been going a long time. They've been nominated 6 separate times. That's it.
That's awesome.
Timothée Chalamet has also been in 7 Best Picture movies before he turned 30. That's crazy. 6 or 7.
Good taste.
And The Wild Robot. I think this is great. I want to see Flow. I've heard Flow is incredible and a chance to win. Would love The Wild Robot. But yeah, any quick thoughts there?
I wonder how this race is going to shape out with Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, and maybe even Flow. But maybe I'll get... I don't know. Wild Robot, I could lean towards that, seeing it get the win for right now.
Very good. Yeah. Cinematography, The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria. Interesting. I did like the cinematography, but I actually think the sets hit better than the cinematography. And Nosferatu. Let's go.
That at least that's a solid nomination. Nosferatu.
Count or luck.
Maria was a surprise to me. A movie that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it here. I'd put some other things above it myself for cinematography.
I'd believe you about that. Emilia Perez, once again, like I do think most of the cinematography in that movie is like one of the stronger aspects of it, but I don't know. I'm sure I could go throughout like this year and be like, some of these other movies were better that didn't get nominated. So
Yeah, this is kind of
just gonna
competitive though.
continue.
I think
Dune Part
between
2 though.
I think between Nosferatu, The Brutalist, and Dune, I think they all
Mhm.
are contenders here.
Yes. I'd agree with that too.
Costume design, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Let's go! Nosferatu and Wicked.
No
It'll go to
Dune.
Wicked. Yeah, no Dune is wild. All right. Wild.
Yeah.
Is it because they were just in the same suits? Maybe.
They're all gray. Not flashy. I don't know.
Same
I don't
suits.
know.
They're like, we've been there. We've done this with giving Dune a million because the first one got like a ton of nominations, more than this. But
I guess also I'm a little surprised because Gladiator 2 was also kind of a dud for this Oscar season, but somehow this got costume design over Dune. But I guess the logic was that the costumes are more
we've
colorful
seen it.
compared to Dune.
I think it's just
I don't know.
people were like, oh, same. It's not like they did new costumes necessarily. It all was like we pick up the next minute of the last movie. But I think this is a Wicked and Conclave race.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Big time here. Director Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez for Hawkes. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Audiard. I'm just gonna
Audiard.
guess for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Substance. Corlie Fargette. Love her.
Sounds right.
Fell in love with her on the director's roundtable. Love The Substance. Love her being in here.
Mm-hmm.
But you're again, haven't seen Emilia Perez, but you're telling me Denis Villeneuve shouldn't be in that spot? Honestly, I think A Complete Unknown is great, but I actually think some of the weaker parts might be James Mangold's direction. So I mean, I'm putting Denis over him every day of the week. I'd put Robert Eggers over him right now, to be honest. And I'm okay with James being in there. Emilia Perez, I might have to go. We'll see if I change my tune, and maybe I'll be opposite of Kyle here going in. But we'll find out.
Let me think here. Obviously, Dune Part 2, I echo what you're saying. Although I think for myself, I was anticipating that, so it didn't hit me as much as most other people. At least from what I've seen online.
I mean, I didn't expect him to get one either, but it still is annoying.
Sure. Yeah, no, it is annoying still. The director of Conclave, I was a little surprised didn't get a nomination, but obviously it's 5 slots. It's very competitive. I do want to shout out Sean Baker. I believe he finally has a Best Director nomination.
Love it.
I don't think he's had one yet. So that's terrific for him. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he did a great job with the Nora.
I want that Cretan Collection DVD, man. I want it.
Yeah. And I guess the same shout out goes for Coralie for Substance as well, but I just have seen more of Sean Baker's work throughout the years.
The 9th. I thought I could be wrong on the number, but I think she's the 9th woman to be nominated for Best Director.
Wow.
And I believe only Catherine Bigelow's won for Best Director. I don't think another.
That sounds right.
And I would totally be okay with her winning. I think The Substance is incredible. Give it to her.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but give it to her.
Yeah, out of this category, I actually don't really have like one that I'm dying to see win. But then again, I also haven't seen like The Brutalist yet.
The Anora would be the one that I really, really want to see.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
My brother and Julie loved The Brutalist more than I did, and I think Brutalist is incredible. But they kind of, if it's 3.5 hours, they've kind of dug this hole that they have to support any movie 3.5 hours because God forbid somebody doesn't like a movie that's 3.5 hours. They've kind of dug that little hole. They gotta. So yeah,
that's a deep hole for 3.5 hours.
I hope you're watching because it's true.
Yeah, check out Annie Essays. That's his channel. Very good stuff.
Amen. Yeah, if you like anime,
we got a channel.
We're gonna skip these documentaries like we talked about. I'll go film editing. We got Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. I have always found the argument interesting. I'm not saying it's bad. You okay?
No, I'm just remembering what I'm upset by for film editing, but please keep going.
there can be an argument. If you write a script that's 4 hours and you make the movie at 4 hours, is there really a lot of creative editing? That's been an argument for years. I remember that being a big deal with like Avatar or something. There was some movie like in the early teens, like, or maybe mid-teen, like 15, 16, that
The
was
King's
like
Speech?
maybe it was the King's Speech, but it was like 3.5 hours long. And that was the big argument. It was like, why is this in editing? Like all your shots are so long, but like you're not doing much creatively. I'm not saying The Brutalist doesn't deserve to be here. I think The Brutalist is fantastic. It has sat with me a lot. I think the editing in Anora and Conclave are awesome. Wicked's editing did not stand out to me, so I don't I don't think it needs to be in here. I would have put other movies in here personally, but what come on, Kyle, give it to me. What's your rant? Come on.
Oh, the tune for me is once again Dune Part 2. I think that the editing in that movie is strong enough to get a nomination.
Absolutely.
Challengers in this category, I wasn't really expecting it. I was expecting another category to easily get a Challengers nomination and for that to be the one nomination. But even still, I think the editing in that movie is very strong, and part of me wished that I would have been wrong and it could have gotten that nomination. But I agree with you about Conclave and Anora, at least, that those are very well edited and really boost the movie. I agree with you about Wicked as well, that it's not what my takeaway was for that movie necessarily. Emilia Perez, there's moments where it's sloppy and moments where it's sharp.
Emilia Perez, does it take place in Mexico?
Yeah.
So a movie, I know they're just putting where the production and everybody came from, but say in France, Emilia Perez feels weird.
French director.
No, I know, and it probably backed production wise by it, but it just feels weird.
It did throw me for a loop when I first heard, but I had to go through the math.
And part of the controversy is, somebody from France coming in and doing a movie. I haven't seen it. I've just heard that that's been the controversy.
I would say that's very below the list of other things, in my opinion, but right. I hear you. Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling, A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, love it. The Substance, and Wicked. I think all these, Emilia Perez I haven't seen, but I think all these deserve to be here. I would be shocked if, Wicked could go in and out for me. I would, but their hairstyles, I guess, are supposed to be part of their character design more intensely than other movies, like a Dune. Like the Dune, it's just keep the hair and sand out of your eyes. But now that they've combined these, I think give this to A Different Man, Nosferatu, or The Substance. I'm happy.
I'm happy for those three overall. Yeah. 2 horror movies getting to be nominated. A Different Man, which was gone by the wayside, but it did manage to sneak in there for a nomination. And also helps for like the overall movie too. I guess we still could continue to beat up on the Emilia Perez movie if we wanted to, but honestly, this was the one category where I just didn't really have strong emotions after it. I thought the majority of these were pretty solid, so I don't know, not too much to add on to that.
Yeah. All right. Score. Hey, the score makes a movie. The score is important. Yeah. We got The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. That is a great little extra snag for The Wild Robot. How cool is that?
I think that's one of the cooler nominations.
Is very good, but you rarely see a movie like that, and that could show you that The Wild Robot might be that winner because people are thinking about it more in depth and what it has to offer. Yeah. And I love it. The Brutalist score is really good. I loved the Brutalist score. I remember thinking that halfway through the movie. I was like, this score is fantastic. Yeah, I'm good with this.
For this category, going back to the Challengers thing, I thought this would be like this for sure nomination for Challengers. It shocks me that the Academy didn't put it in here.
No, you got to blame the composers. They're the one voting for the noms.
No, I agree. I don't know what's up with that. I maybe it
Come on,
annoyed them and
John
hurt their
Williams,
ears. I don't know. I don't know what's
Hans
going on over
Zimmer.
there with that. Um, but the Emilia Perez and the Wicked ones are interesting to me because like the songs make the music elements, but not like the scores necessarily. If that makes sense. So I don't know about those two as like nominations. Those I don't
So
really get.
you're saying because, well, for Emilia Perez, I can't speak, haven't seen it.
Well, because they're both musicals. That
So, but you're saying though that like why would you get a nomination here but not an original song?
no, just
Oh,
that I
yeah.
don't think of. I don't know, like Wicked. I think of the score in terms of like the background of a scene of a moment, but for these two movies, I think the songs themselves stand out, but they're not like what tied together as like a very good score. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. It just seems odd that these like musicals are being nominated for scores when it's like the songs are like the forefront of it. It's not like the overall
Sure.
scores are the
I
forefront
get
of
what
it.
I get what you're saying, and I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing. I'll speak on Wicked. I could
Mhm.
see where you would look at a musical like Wicked, because Wicked, if you're wondering where Defying Gravity is, has no business being an original song for a play
Right.
that's been out for years.
Yeah.
Um, But if you are looking at it from that perspective and saying, all right, that makes sense because it's a musical, there are songs,
Mhm.
but what are we doing in between those songs? Well, we got to create our own original score when we are doing those dialogues and
Mhm.
passing things, passing scenes from one another and what we're doing. I can see where you can be like, all right, that's pretty good. We've done a good job. But I
Right.
do agree with you. I mean, the fact that Dune is not here is ridiculous. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. It was ridiculous when it was announced that it wasn't eligible. That makes
Oh,
no
I forgot
sense.
about that.
That
Okay.
makes no sense.
Right.
John Williams got nominated for the Indiana Jones score that he had already done 4 times.
Mhm.
Obviously, when we say that they are doing a different score, they are. He did a different score. He did.
Mhm.
But there are elements and themes and main themes, bum,
This
bada, bum, bum. You're not going to
yeah.
lose that in Indiana
Yeah.
Jones, but you have the
Yeah.
rest of the movie to score.
Mhm.
So, hey, give it to the Wild Robot just for giggles. That's what I say.
Honestly, for how messed up this category is, yeah.
Brutalist
Yeah.
is really good. Brutalist has a great score.
I'll believe you on
Um,
that. Conclave,
so
hey, I like it there. That's cool.
yeah. I agree. Conclave. I think Conclave has a pretty good score too. I think that's
Mm.
deserving.
Mm.
So music, original song. So you've got El Mal from Emilia Perez.
Mhm.
There's also Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and
Mhm.
then Never Too Late um, says from Elton John. Is the
I
movie
think
Never Too Late?
yeah, I think it's a documentary. I'm gonna
Gotcha.
guess.
About him?
I would assume.
Oh. There's Like a Bird from Sing Sing. Excellent. The Journey from the 688, which I haven't heard of. And I think this is a very funny category this year. I think it's
Oh,
funny. It
yes.
makes me laugh because
Yes.
I have been
I
the
miss
one who will
Ken.
sit and I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Come on, Cog, get in there. Honestly, Ryan Gosling should perform that at the Academy every year until he's dead.
It's gonna need to this year.
Um, so I'm the guy who loves watching this show. I watch the Oscars from start to finish. Don't care if I'm up late. I want to watch it. I enjoy watching it. I find it as a fan of Hollywood, I really enjoy it. And I like the songs. I really truly have never hated that they do it. But if you are trying to cut down your 3.5 hour show to get your views up, that is the first place you should start. Not combining categories when sound design and sound mixing are different things and different people a lot of the times that do it. Many times it's the same guy. Just depends. But they announced that this year that they're not going to perform these songs.
A day before nominations got announced.
And that's I bet you that's because they already knew. I mean, the voting date had closed. They knew what songs won. They sat back and went, where's Ariana Grande? Where's Cynthia? Where's Selena Gomez for some reason? Why has Lady Gaga not here for the 5th time? Where are they? Where is
they could have nominated Miley Cyrus for The Last Showgirl. I don't think that movie's great, but the ending song, it's a pretty good song.
You weren't a fan. I just think it's hysterical. And how obvious of a take. Like, that is so clear that they only do the original songs when it matters to their view. And like I said, like, there's no star power. And, you know, my cousin Kev, shout out to Kev, was like, what about Elton John? And it's like, well, first of all, I freaking love Elton. Okay, I'm still standing.
He's still invited.
And he'll be there. But like,
camera will show him. But
the Academy doesn't want Elton. They want young people to watch their stuff. They want Ariana Grande to perform. They do.
Wicked might have been getting a lot of nominations for reasons.
Yeah. It's just, it's hilarious. It's the first year in like forever since I've been really following it, you know, over a decade now, that they sat back and went, oh, we don't love all the people that made these songs, so we're just not going to let them perform. And I guarantee you next year, there's going to be some more celebrities. I mean, every year there's always one celebrity that is doing some type of performance, and they did not have it this year. And so they just said, if we don't have one, we're cutting it. And that also makes me feel bad for all these great artists and creators that worked really hard to make this, to make these songs. And it bothered. Like, if this had happened in the year when RRR performed, I'd be so mad.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is an incredible song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I have nothing to add on to this.
Let's skip Best Picture since it's just smack dab in the middle here. Let's quickly finish these few down below here. We got Production Design, The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2. Oh, Nosferatu.
That's Nosferatu.
Classic SpongeBob reference.
I got it.
And Wicked. Wicked. Hey, Conclave. They rebuilt the Sistine Chapel. Okay, they literally did. Dune. They were on Arrakis. So how is that even eligible? Dune's a documentary. Why didn't we even talk about its lack of knowledge?
Oh, they are. They're just in sand. Get it out of there.
It's rough, of course, and it gets everywhere. I think this is great. I think all these make sense. The Brutalist has a great production design. I think that is probably the front runner here, but I would love to see Nosferatu snag this one.
Sure, why not? Honestly, I think this is like one of the strongest categories in terms of nominees.
Yeah, I do too. I think when you see The Brutalist, you'll go, it's probably going to be The Brutalist.
I can't wait. Seeing it next month. It's coming next month.
Long ways away. We're going to skip the live action shorts. I do want to see them. Every year I try. Every year I fail. Hopefully this is the year I don't. Sound should still be 2 separate categories. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot back at it again. Give it to The Wild Robot. End it there. This should go to Dune, in all honesty. But I'll take The Wild Robot. Thoughts?
I'm getting my papers screwed up. Can you repeat them one more time?
For Sound, Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Must have been for all the ducks in The Wild Robot.
I'm happy for Wild Robot because that was also a surprise. Kind of like Score. I don't know. Emilia Perez, I watched on my laptop with headphones in. I can't speak on that. Wicked, fine.
Thanks, Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you want me to take you seriously? Then give me the best sound possible.
Amen.
I don't know. I guess in this category, excuse me, I'm fine with most of them. Emilia Perez is giving me a coughing attack. As you can see. Yeah, let's just move on. I got nothing to add. Whatever.
Visual effects. Alien Oscars. Romulus for visual effects. Better Man. Doom Part 2. Did you have more?
No.
Oh. Doom Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Hey, love Alien, love Kingdom getting in there, love Better. I talk about calling things. I told you Better Man might sneak into this category.
You were right. Yeah, you did get that one. That one surprised me.
And boy, did that movie flop in the States. But I've heard it's very good. And
surprisingly.
I like Robbie Williams.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I thought I explained that last show. I saw him on a Graham Norton interview. I was there for other actors. Was taken away by. Robbie.
Yeah, you did say that.
I've listened to a couple of his songs. I mean, I don't listen frequently, but I like Robbie. I know who he was.
No Twisters love though.
Ain't no love for Oklahoma, Kyle. Never has been, never will be.
Clearly.
It's just like our Lord and Savior Glenn Powell always says, you don't face your fears, Kyle. You ride them. Moving on.
Sound logic.
I mean, I would probably give this to Dune, but I'd legitimately be okay with anything but Wicked.
I mean, I don't trust the Academy at this point.
To not give it to Wicked?
To give it to Dune. I don't know, man. Like,
oh yeah,
they screwed it up so much this year. I can't trust anything.
This is the. Yeah,
I do want to say this about Dune. I remember us talking about how Warner Bros. Really fumbled giving this like Oscar love, but thinking about it more, I know that Warner Bros. Lately, since being under Zaslav, has been like cutting back on like spending, especially when it comes to like marketing dollars by the looks of things. I mean, for crying out loud, they had a Lord of the Rings movie and no one went to see it. No one knew about it. Like that just goes to show. Yeah, that just goes to show. And granted, I don't know if it was good or not, but I'm just saying, like, for Lord of the Rings, you should expect a bigger pop, but clearly they're not spending the marketing dollars like they have in the past under this guy. I wonder if that was the same with Dune Part 2. They just weren't spending the money to show it more of like the 4-year consideration campaign type of stuff. I wonder if they just skipped out on doing that. So anyway, that's just my one thought about that. I mean, or the voters are just ridiculous anyway. Like, figure it out yourselves. But
came out in March.
Maybe it's just that too. But I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me if they really didn't spend that much on.
And you got to remember, out of the just under 10,000 people that vote, the voters for the nominations are the people who are under that category are voting for each other. They only everybody votes for the winners. So the visual effects artists picked these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which always sometimes is just wild because it's like, how did they not pick certain things? But anyway, let's move on here.
I know, man. I know.
Writing an adapted screenplay, we got a complete unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Nickel Boys still remains at the top of my list of a movie I want to see. I've heard nothing but great things.
Same. Yeah.
I'm glad it snuck in for a couple noms. I think this is a pretty good category for the most part. I think A Complete Unknown, Conclave, and Sing Sing are all great. Again, haven't seen Nickel Boys or Emilia Perez, but Sing Sing blew me away. I would give it to Sing Sing. Thoughts?
Emilia Perez, we've said enough on. Nickel Boys and Sing Sing I need to check out. We talked about cinematography already, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, we only have Best Picture after original screenplay. We got 2 left, and we're running on time.
I've seen some people be critical about Nickel Boys for not getting cinematography, which seems like a big deal and very crucial to that movie. So I guess that's just the one note that I have to add, but because sounds like it's deserving for adapted screenplay.
I believe they film Nickel Boys from the perspective of the boys. So your cuts are going from each kid's perspective or each character's perspective.
Right. So even editing too could have been.
Yeah, those actors had to be camera operators. I do think adapted screenplay is the weaker of the 2 this year. I think original screenplay, which we're about to get into, is the real competitive one here.
Yeah.
Writing original screenplay, Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. September 5, I've heard it's very good. Didn't get much love. Still want to see it. Love that it got in here.
Yeah, I'm curious by it too.
Brutalist, Substance, Real Pain, Anora. Loved all of them. I really, in my heart of hearts, believe that if Sean Baker's going to win anything, this is where he should win for the most. I think the script of Anora is so freaking good. It is hard to write a movie that is so dramatic and so funny at the same time. And it is Marx Brothers funny at times. That is hard to do. And he's been getting better and better at it with his style of humor as he's continued to make movies. And I think it pops in Anora so much that this is where I would give Anora a solid win. But I the Brutalist script's very good too. So is The Substance and A Real Pain as well. I mean, they're all really good scripts. So I could go any way. I'd be happy with anybody for the most part, but I would love for Sean to get this win, and I think he might. I think this might be where he gets it, a win.
I think it's hard right now for me to pinpoint who is in the lead for this category, but I think that also just means that it's like one of the strongest categories I'm seeing this year, right next to production design. I wish, again, challengers could have found a way, but I also wasn't really counting on that so much as compared to the score category. So yeah, just of right now, I have no idea who is going to take the lead, but I think from what I've seen and from what I've heard, this is a very strong category. I think they've got this pretty much correct.
All right, we're running low on time, so let's get to Best Picture here and just quickly kind of rattle everything off. I like how some of these say nominees to be determined. You don't know who produced these movies.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
You're up to 10 now. They went from 5 to maybe 10, maybe to 10.
Maybe it's 7. Maybe it's 9.
And then everybody complained because it was like, you can have 6. Why are we only doing 5 this year when this movie was so good? But Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez. Kyle and I were nervous about Dune sneaking in for a Best Picture. Glad it did.
Yep.
I'm Still Here.
Big surprise.
Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Kyle, what are your thoughts?
The most of these that I've seen, Substance, Dune, Conclave, Anora, even A Complete Unknown, I'm happy to see in this category. Especially for The Substance. It's hard for horror movies to get nominated. Nickel Boys, I still want to check out. Same with Brutalist. Emilia Perez, I don't think it's going to win because I think it's already going to win Best International Feature, and I think already that is going to be a very questionable decision when it does happen. But it's also still frustrating on top of the 13 nomination things for it to get a Best Picture nomination here. I'm Still Here. Good job for this this foreign film to make its way up into the Best Picture category, especially since people could argue that spot could have been taken for Sing Sing, or even Emilia Perez's spot could have been taken for Sing Sing, which I think, again, A24 just kind of fumbled that one compared to most of their other movies that they got nominated. For Sing Sing. So I'm Still Here. Definitely at the top of my list now, along with a few others, like Nickel Boys and September 5, Brutalist, to where I really need to see it. And Sing Sing I need to see as well. So I guess those are my 5 that I'll try to watch before the Oscars come around.
Nickel Boys sneaking in for 2 nominations total for your script and Best Picture is incredible. And I believe Best Picture is the only time where the nominees are not just the producers in Hollywood. I do believe everybody votes for the 10 nominees for Best Picture, and then they will all, then everybody will all vote again for the winner. Once the nominees are out. So I think a lot of these are great. I can't speak too much. I've seen all of them except Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here and Nickel Boys. So those will be probably the 3 movies I try to hit first, but I think these are all great. I'm so happy Dune is here. I would love Dune to win because it was the best movie of last year. Come on. No Nosferatu.
You can't find a way to get it in. Maybe 11.
Maybe
9. Maybe.
Well, I think Conan will do some great stuff. Kyle and I will make a final lock-in predictions video when it gets closer. What's it, beginning of March?
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. All right, guys. What did you think? If you have any thought, I did not think this was going to be a full hour, but hey.
Neither did I. Sorry for rambling.
Hey, that's what we do here. Ramble and never post. All right, guys. Well, thanks. Comment below any thoughts you had, snubs, things like that. If you've seen movies and you're like, hey, these guys are crazy, let's let them know. Go ahead and do that. And as always, thank you, my patrons, and thanks for watching, Mom.
See you again.
Squirtle.